So my question is that can the pleasure change and truth seeking go hand in hand? Like I'm a middle class man from India who is seeking money to stabilize life, but have is attracted to truth as well. Truth inspires me. So can both
So,
go?
but why? Hang on. See, why do you separate money from truth in this particular example? So you need money unless you're willing to beg on the street, which is fine. But unless you're willing to do that, which it doesn't sound like you are, um, do you need money to survive?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a truth, is it? Isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
And so what happens is that people turn truth into spirituality, which is what you're doing. You're putting money in this practical, worldly, material box, and you're putting truth in the spiritual box. And because you've been banged over the head with the incense carrying swamis and the gurus and the pundits who walk around saying money is bad, money is evil, thou shalt not chase materialism, and all these things. Therefore, in response to that conditioning, you put truth in the spirituality box. Truth is this pure thing, and money is this impure thing, and never shall they meet. That's what you have done. Okay, but in actuality, if you can get over that conditioning by realizing the fact that truth is the only thing there is. In fact, the thing that is not true is spirituality. Spirituality is the materialism. Because if you listen to people talk about meditation, they talk about how long they meditated. They have meditation competitions. They talk about which guru they go with and what color yoga mat they do and how many hours they did that week. And they talk about my guru is better than your guru. They talk about, well, I like his speeches, I don't like your guy's speeches because they're no good. That's material. That is no different. In fact, that's even worse. Because at least if someone says, my shirt is more expensive than your shirt, at least that is honest, because it is openly material. There's no charade there. There's no camouflaging there. Okay, but spirituality is supposed to be this godly thing, right? Which is pure and proper, and the right way to be. Um, but that's all materialistic. So actually, the thing that needs to be gotten rid of first is spirituality, not money. Because you think chanting is going to feed your stomach? You think chanting and giving money to the church and the temple, and dropping money in the whatever that plate they pass around in the church, and giving to the poor, is that going to feed your children? That's not going to feed anybody. So your reality, the way that you live, that's the truth. You need money to survive unless you're willing to beg. Therefore, how to get money, that's also a truth. So truth is the only truth is the only practical thing there is. It is spirituality that is not practical. It is spirituality that is materialistic. It is self-help that is not practical. It is self-help that is materialistic. All those things are, my shirt is more expensive than your shirt. My car is nicer than your car. All of the self-help and spirituality is guilty of that, not the money. But yes, if someone says I have more money than you and they want to make that competition, fine. Obviously, that's materialistic and salacious. But that's no more salacious than the guru fighting and the which books do you read? And I read this one twice, and you only read it once, and I found this quote over here, and you found that one over there. That's no different. But at least the pure materialism is pure. Spirituality isn't pure. That's the answer to your question.
Thank you, doctor. Thanks.
Does the pursuit of the truth and loneliness go hand in hand?
Though, well, how many people do you think are really genuinely seeking truth in the world?
Not very many.
Right. And so you don't have to seek it to be lonely, uh, since even at the very beginning, there's only four people seeking it, right? So so-called loneliness, it was from the very beginning. It isn't like a million started and then ended up with, and then they became too lonely, so they left, right? No one's even seeking it. So the so-called loneliness is from the very beginning. So there, there's no mass enlightenment, and the number of people who are seeking genuine things in the world, whether it's truth or anything else, is very small. But if one, and that's why truth is not for the social person. The person who's social um, can never seek truth. I mean, he can, but he'll never, because he's because the interest in being around others and having a support system and having others do it with him and this and that, um, that that sensibility will never allow him to do whatever is necessary to get there, because he will always have the conditions that socialness um, brings.
So, does having a family preclude one from pursuing the truth?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, there's no laws. It's in fact, and when you have a family, there's a truth as to how to live in peace with a family. There's a truth in raising children. There's a truth in uh, finding a way to support the family, and so everything. So once again, you're kind of going along the same lines as the last questioner, where it was truth is like this spiritual thing, and quite honestly, there is not a single thing in any domain, from even the most materialistic thing, whose basis is not founded in truth. If you want to buy a car, there's a truth as to how to get the best price. Truth is the only practical thing there is, and it runs in the veins of every single thing. And in fact, anything which runs in the vein other than truth is false. That can only lead to failure and suffering.
Yeah, I think I understand. Thank you.
Hi Kapil. My question is it necessary to spend time by yourself if you want to get to the truth?
So, okay, let's say that you spend time by yourself. So, explain what that looks like.
Uh, I mean, without spend time by yourself without any distractions. For example, I most of the time I'm
Yeah.
occupied
So,
with
give
my
me
work,
give me give me give me an example of what that would look like. Go ahead.
not using my
Paint.
phone, not working, just by yourself, like not occupying your mind with anything.
Okay. So you turn off your phone, you stop working on something, and you go sit in a chair. Paint the picture.
Yes, that's what I was
Okay.
thinking.
Okay. So okay, fine. So you go sit in a chair. So grandmothers spend a lot of time in rocking chairs.
Yes.
They don't use phones. So are they enlightened? Do they get wisdom? Um, so you turning off the phone, you not doing any work and going sit in a chair. And I'm not making light of it. You could. That's why I asked you to paint the picture. You didn't paint it enough, so I had to paint it for you, and to confirm it with you if it was okay. And so I said a chair. It could be the floor. You may say I'm going to sit on the floor. That's fine. Whatever. So you go sit in a room or on the balcony or in the jungle or whatever it is, by yourself, and no phone, no work. Okay, so you're sitting there. Okay, so then go ahead. What happens then?
Mm, my head gets flooded with thoughts.
Okay, so you're gonna turn off the phone. You're gonna stop working. You're gonna go sit somewhere alone, and then the head gets flooded with thoughts. Okay, so then what?
I get stuck in the cycle of thinking again.
Okay, so then what is the point? So then why would you ask the question is to pursue the truth, do you have to spend time alone? And so, I called you on your phrase. I said, okay, what does spend time alone mean? Let's hear it. And so you said spend time alone means I put away the phone, I get away from work, I go sit somewhere in a chair alone. And then, but when you do that, you get flooded with thoughts, and then you get the cycle starts all over again. So, did you not just answer your own question?
Yes.
And really, the essence of that is, see, when you were born, you didn't have the spend time alone thing. Now, if you naturally did, then you did. But you picked that up from spirituality.
Right. Yeah.
You picked that up from the world, the self-help world. And the theme that will always be there until an individual is ready and willing to really get over it, is it'll always the superfluous, the disease of spirituality and self-help will always be there. No one ever speaks their own words. These are all learned behaviors. These are all learned languages. To sit alone and be by yourself and all that. These have been picked up somewhere. They're not natural. They have been injected inside you by spirituality and self-help. And as we have very logically, with no belief, no opinion, no faith, no jumping on a limb, no leaps of faith, we went step by step as to what that very recommendation in spirituality books, where that would lead you. And we made it even personal to you to make it relevant. And you saw for yourself, without believing me, that that wouldn't do anything. And
Yes.
therefore, the essence of that is not to not go spend time alone. Not that that's bad. It is that picking things up from spirituality and self-help and lending an ear to that realm and continuing to subscribe to society and the world and its anemic messages, that will only lead to more nonsensical behaviors and a waste of your years we all only have a finite number of.